next talk is all about the psychology of email marketing. What's there not to like about the psychology? Deep down, we all have some passion for this behavior, more so with so much data that we have access to these days. Right, enough of that passion of psychology. Let's bring on our next speaker. Russell Flawn is the commercial director at Pure360, and he has a wealth of experience on how to use behavioral economics in email marketing to drive revenue and cut through the noise. Russell's currently out in New York at the moment, so his internet connection is a bit flaky, so bear with us if it does drop off. Just a reminder again to the audience to post any questions you have for Russell in the chat, and I will pick them up and ask them to him at the end in the Q&A. Over to you, Russell.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Janek. Welcome, everybody. It's great to be here. And yeah, I'm excited to show you some great content. So psychology of email marketing. What I'm going to do is break this up into three main parts. So I want to give some hints and tips on the psychology of email marketing, the basics, content, colors, language, subject lines, is go through some consumer personas and the psychology of those, and the key principles of persuasion that influence them when they're reading your emails. So it's good to think about the emails and what's inside them, how to make them, the people who read them, and the personas of consumer behavior and how to influence them. And then the last part is some personalization tactics that drive emotive experiences while maximizing email conversions. So a lot to get through, really exciting stuff. So just as a frame of reference, psychology has been used in marketing for as long as we can remember. Billboards, TV, radio, offline, big campaigns in and around our communities. So given how important email is to so many companies nowadays, especially as a lot more is moving online, a lot of brands are often guilty of not considering the psychology before designing emails compared to the effort and investment that goes into designing big brand campaigns. The expense on advertising messaging is huge in order to create a new motivational reality focused on specific buying personas. So email is digital, which means it can provide emotive one-to-one personalized experiences for all your buying personas through behavioral automation. Much more than a static advert in the tube on TV that is focused on one specific buying persona. Your emails can come alive and target one-to-one personalized experiences. And they can do it for a fraction of the cost of big ad budgets. Remember, the stats show that return on investment on email should be the highest out of all the forms of marketing. It can be, and automating personalized experiences ensures you achieve this. So the cocktail effect, the other half to think about is we've all experienced busy events, loud parties, bustling restaurants, crowded gigs. And have you ever noticed that despite the music, the conversations, the general background noise, we still have the ability to focus on one singular conversation whilst being able to ignore everything else? That's called the cocktail party effect. An innate human skill of clouding out everything else other than one interesting, emotive conversation. So consumers are exposed to between 6,000 and 10,000 ads every single day. So, can you recount even a fraction of the ads that you see each day? I definitely can't. And that's because we filter out most of them out. So meaning that most ads simply just become white noise. So that's a significant challenge for marketeers. And as industries become more competitive and channels become more saturated, brands need to do all they can to stand out from the crowd. So for marketers, email personalization can emulate that singular engaging conversation that we focus on at a noisy cocktail party. However, in 2021, email personalization's come a long way since the simple first name tactic. So to stand out in the marketing space, brands need to focus on true personalization. And what I mean by that is true personalization means having a deep understanding of the customer journey and the influences of persuasion. So being able to predict and act upon customer needs, well, the products they buy and the pages they browse, and sending the right message at exactly the right time. So some basics to start with on basic email psychology, using AIDA principle: attention, interest, desire, and action. Lead them towards action, capture their attention, lead them towards that goal. The important thing to remember is that most of the time people cannot convert an email, so every article, picture, subject line, and text should be pointing them to the website. So make sure the subject lines, pre-header text, from names grab their attention, make sure the headings and titles grab their interest and keep it. Make sure you build emotive desire using strong imagery and copy, and then call to actions nice and clear and contrasting. So how does your audience engage with your emails? Well, the two main types of ways you make a decision: logically and emotionally. Logically, presenting them with lots of information, allow them to make an informed decision based on all the facts available. Whereas emotionally, this is where people's emotions responses are called into play to allow their brains to make decisions easier. Now, the majority of people make decisions this way. A study showed that on average, 80% of all decisions are emotional and 20% are logically thought of. So the reason we work like this is because a lot of the time, is because there's so many choices and decisions that our brain have to make all day, every day. It'd simply be impossible for us to make a fully intellectually informed, logical decision every single time. So our emotions give us that helping hand and react accordingly, so we can concentrate on the more important things. And that's the key to promote an emotional response. So how can we drive people to engage emotionally? Well, the key is to make sure that people engage emotionally upon receipt of the messages. It's not a simple one, but a few really simple ways to consider at the basic level regarding colors, language, and imagery. So I just wanted to give one example. Amnesty International does it really well, really clear. In their welcome email, they've used yellow, positive, bold color, positive action, signing up. They've used a mission statement talking about what they do, both in the pre-header text and in the copy. They've also thought hard about the pre-header text like a second subject line to reiterate their mission statement, just to reinforce your action. So their post-donation email, this is what it looks like a campaign access email post-donation. They've used green as a soothing color to promote good feeling to people who have donated. And they've also used someone's face, which is a really easy way to engage, and this is someone who the donator has helped. So remember, this email is not only to say thank you, but it's to make them feel good, building that emotional trust, so they ultimately end up donating again. And including pictures of human beings with the right emotive story behind it and imagery, as well as the right colors for the right life cycle stage, really drives some very basic but very impactful effects. Their cross-sell email, that's their book club. So cross-selling are the channels for donations. You can donate books for fundraising. They've used pink, again, soft color. They've used it to make you feel comfortable straight off the bat in order to drive those other channels. It's used in the same way as the green, just inviting you to an event to donate. So on the flip side, this is one of their call to action emails. So much more contrasting. You can see immediately the contrast in black and white colors. The imagery is now to use the call to action. And the call to action is very clear: take action. So the header text is clear. It's a summary of the actual main text. Ideally, Amnesty wants to use the top you want you to see the top and act. Then anything underneath, they'll end up at the call to action to grab their attention. So just some real basic hints and tips for content, colors. It's always great to use attention, interest, desire, and action to help your customers through their decisions, making it easy to drive them from first attention to last action. Set the scene with the right color palette for your customers. Appeal to the emotion, not logic, through imagery, and create urgency with language, and then ensure that language supports the particular life cycle stage you're promoting. So that's some basics. So now I wanted to go through some research consumer persona psychology. So let's think about the types of people that are reading your emails. So habitual is one persona. They follow patterns, not the crowd. Whereas experiential people, these are people like my wife actually, who is very impulsive when she's shopping. She's ready to buy and is variety seeking. Whereas myself actually is a cognitive type of buyer. I'm more of a long-term planner. I usually go after considered purchases or more complex purchase behaviors. Dissonance reducing is another very different shopping persona. They avoid loss and they need a lot of affirmation from others. And then constructivist is an active participant with your brand. They construct their opinion through engaging with your brand and are very self-aware. So these 5 known scientific or researched buying personas are really hard to target at the same time. You can't do it manually. It takes too much time to create experiences for each one unless you use technology to support you. So this is where personalization really comes into play, because you can automatically present different experiences to each of these 5 main buying personas. Each brand wouldn't have all of these personas in your list. You will only have 1, 2, 3, only a few that's relevant to the type of product you sell, so the sales life cycle. So, but it's really good as just a thought-provoking framework to have a think about what your persona is. Even if you haven't done any analytical modeling on your data, you'll definitely resonate with one of these as your customer base. And then you can start to think, based on those behaviors, how to best build the perfect customer experience. So along with buying personas, which are hard to manage manually, they're very different in terms of what they need, they are also influenced in different ways through persuasion. So there's 6 principles of influence, and just wanted to go through those. So similarity is a tendency to like others who are similar to you, whereas consistency is the desire to be consistent with what we've already done or said. Scarcity, the desire to have things that are rare. Consensus, desire to follow the lead of others. Authority, the desire to follow the expert. And then reciprocity, desire to give back to someone that gave you something. These are 6 known principles of influence and the psychology of consumer persuasion. So there is a way through personalization and automation to use all of these really effectively, and I wanted to show you lots of examples in this next half of how to do that. So throughout the presentation, I'm going to show you, how the principles can be used cleverly across not just email marketing channels, but also your web, and I'll share some real life examples. Because it's all well and good learning theories, but it's important to see those in action. So the next part is, before we go into some actual examples, is just to say one more crucial factor to think about is your audience's reaction and needs right now in this modern era, in this COVID pandemic. Email marketing has been transforming during the last year and a half. A study through Litmus has showed the email volume is up 44%, or up 4.7% increase on average in open rates worldwide. So engagement is increasing, and also 75% of customers tried a brand new shopping behavior because of the economic pressures and changes, stores closing, changing priorities. We've all done it. My shopping habits have changed, both for essentials like food and also things that I want and need from different outlets. So while there may be an increase in new customers, the ones that you currently have may be leaving because people are switching brands at quite an alarming rate due to trust, availability, convenience, and value. So everything has been chucked up in the air, behaviors are changing, and it is extremely hard for marketers to react to all of this. So more and more people are demanding that brands not only take a stand on social, environmental, and political issues, but also take action. Customers are putting their money where their values are. According to 5W's 2020 Consumer Culture Report, 83% of consumers are influenced when a brand aligns with a cause they're passionate about. So the time is now to provide email experiences that resonate with modern consumers. So that is a lot to contend with. Various different consumer behaviors, the influences of persuasion, how to affect those different buying personas, and then all the changes that are happening right now in the modern market. Is a lot to contend with for marketers, and so the support of personalization can help. So we looked at psychology of email marketing so far, just some basics on color use, imagery, the importance of the flow from attention to call to actions, the psychology of consumers who read your emails, and then the key principles of influencing them. Pandemics taught us the marketers need to have a strategy that automatically reacts to those unexpected changes in consumer behavior. And this is where allowing the marketing to automatically adapt to those changing consumers' behaviors using personalization technology can drive the best results, no matter what life throws at us. So personalization, and more specifically, social proof and recommendations, underpin some key influences and persuasion of consumer psychology. So just wanted to psychology of persuasion in your emails. So first one, recommendations. So using some earned authority consistency. So dynamic product recommendations are as effective in email as they are on the web, and can be made more by choosing where in the life cycle to show the products and within different contexts to demonstrate credibility and relevance to the recipient's desire to find the perfect solution easily and fast. So where possible, always give a frame of reference in your email content. So a great tactic here would be earned authority. So such as one of our clients, Peg Drugs Online, our vet recommends in the subject line and in the content. So earned authority works by us feeling more comfortable with the purchase as it's an expert's advice who's giving that. So though you don't have to have an expert on hand, such as a vet, to sell all your products. Let's face it, some items don't need specialists to recommend them. So putting yourself, the brand, in the driving seat of the authority, using your language and your consumer base, is the best way to do that. So using language like our customers love, and then showing them what they love, tells your customer that you know exactly what you're talking about and you understand your advocates. You can also show your customers what your customers have to say about you, your brand, to invoke some social standing. So I'll show you some more examples on that shortly. So when building bulk campaigns, adding a block to show what the customer's been looking at on your website to increase click-through if the rest of your content doesn't quite catch their eye is the best way to mop up that interest. You might want to include most popular products in a welcome email to prompt the customer to the products where they're most likely to convert. In a cart abandonment email, you might want to show products that complete the set of the object they've abandoned or related to that product in order to increase the average order value. Understand your customer lifecycle and then adapting the content to the lifecycle stage using product recommendations will help increase conversion. We see about, on average, an up 11% total online sales up to. Next one, really powerful one, using ratings and reviews. So that's backing up consensus, persuasion, the psychology, and affirmation. So ratings and reviews, one of the most powerful social proof tactics. Great example being Amazon. The products with the highest reviews perform the best. It's one thing knowing that other people have bought a product, but it's another knowing that someone else used it and was satisfied enough to share that positive feedback. So trying to add a social proof widget to display ratings and reviews underneath each product in your emails is a really powerful tool. Feedback on product level pages reassures customers at the moment of purchase, while showcasing positive ratings and reviews in your welcome series can build trust with first-time shoppers who sign up. So people trust reviews more than ever before. 88% of customers put as much weight on online reviews as they would on personal recommendations. So a large number of reviews combined with great reviews help build immediate trust that will ultimately convert casual online visitors to actual paying customers. Turtle Mat, one of our clients, great brand, they've put a lot of focus on acquisition. So they sell quality doormats, which are on the higher value side of the mat market. So the quality of their mat speaks volumes, and their customers love them for it, and they love to shout about it. So it's really crucial in a niche market at the higher price points to use your advocates' conversations online to help you convert more. So in this cart abandonment email for a first-time buyer, they've let their potential customers know they're great, not by saying it themselves, but by using their customer reviews. The FIFO Platinum banner gives prospects huge confidence, and they even use it in the header of this email as well. Space NK, they display each product's rating with a link to the individual customer reviews. It's a really effective way to encourage shoppers to just quickly add them to their cart. They've achieved 44% sales uplift after recommending relevant products backed up by the best of their 200 customer ratings and reviews. So extremely powerful effects. So third one is social proof. So what is social proof? Well, social proof is a natural psychological trait where people reference the behavior of others to guide their own behavior. So this tendency is driven by our natural desire to behave correctly under most circumstances. So whether making a purchase, deciding where to dine, determining where we should go, what we should say, who to say it to, and so on. So we tend to trust information from unbiased shoppers. By showing customers that their peers have recently enjoyed the same product, you're providing social proof that that product or service you're offering is worthwhile. Displaying stock levels is a powerful way to also drive conversions, especially where the stock is finite, such as limited edition products or hotel rooms for specific dates. Products that are scarce seem more desirable. So the underlying message being, there aren't many left and others are interested, so you should get in quick. Our research shows almost half of consumers say information on how many items are still in stock is a key consideration when making a purchase. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. So generating urgency is a huge technique for driving additional sales on top of social proof. Popularity messaging is a great way to do this. It's the online version of a large group of customers crowding around one product. So it shows online shoppers that the product they're looking at is in demand, playing on that wisdom of the crowd to drive a purchase decision. Timeout uses urgency in the title and has a countdown timer, as well as scarcity social proof, popularity, alongside product recommendations. So 4 elements of the psychology of persuasion within personalization, all in one email. So they get great results. Combining the social proof widget with stock levels and showing live crowd purchase accounts is just a powerful technique to drive conversions, especially when stock is finite. Last chance, today only, while stocks last, get it before it's gone, get it before the weekend. Using to get that open rate up and then frame your products with powerful language to create urgency really resonates at a basic level, at a fear level for psychology of persuasion. Fourth one is trending products. So trending product feeds are a great way to leverage crowdsourced data. So try displaying trending products in the email to guide new shoppers to your web product pages, and make the consumer journey that bit easier for them. So for returning customers, you could refine your trending product feeds even further by filtering trending products for that individual's most browsed or purchased category. That plays on the consensus and reciprocity principles of persuasion. So a couple of examples. So using user-generated content from social feeds of trending popular products, but using the crowds to back that up, helps improve the engagement with both channels from email and social, and increases the power of social consensus and affirmation, which gets at that emotional response for persuading them to engage further and eventually convert. So this campaign from Body Shop is driving customers to their Twitter and Instagram with an emotive message about something we can all get behind, your mum and my mum. So using a mix of email and social to create the kind of brand image that promotes loyalty is a great example of engaging through socially recommended content. Another example this is from Homebase, of trending products combined with user-generated content from Instagram. So it's another great way to build trust with shoppers, using the power of other advocates to demonstrate your brand power across a wider consumer base. And the last example is behavioral targeting. So all the persuasion techniques I've given examples of do not exist in isolation. They can be blended with customer data, so analyzing customer behavior to achieve specific objectives and target further longer term customer touch points and experiences. So you can do that in a reactive way and a proactive way. Reactive way is very good for real time. So email personalization falls into many different disciplines that can all be leveraged depending on the desired effect. So the first is to consider is how fast you can react in real time. So getting the right message to the customer at the right time is very important and depends on their purchase intent. So for example, a customer who's liked your website enough to sign up has shown a good sign of purchase intent, which is why we see very high open and conversion rates on welcome campaigns and journeys. Now this is true for cart and browse abandonment. So if a customer is browsing your website, that shows intent. If a customer puts something in their basket, that shows even further intent. So much so, we typically see a double the conversion rate on cart as we do on browse abandonment emails. The shoe zone example knows that I'm male and that I abandoned, which means they have personalized the call to action as well as the changing color schemes of the email for increased conversion. And last example is would be the next route to go further and use, not just rely on personalization, automation, and technology, but look at data to help you craft new customer experiences. Well, the next route would be to analyze your customers' buying and engagement history and create profiles from those. To create those and identify personalized campaigns to win back lapsed customers, identify potential champion customers, and nurture them through the longer term post-purchase journeys. So this allows you to be more proactive with your approach and create your own opportunities for the longer term, while letting your personalization and automation technology react to that real-time customer behavior. So for example, a lapsed customer with a high customer lifetime value should be sent on a behavioral optimized incentive journey until you win them back, using based on those different buying personas that I went through earlier, and using all the tactics of social proof and ratings and reviews that I went through today. You might find a cohort of engaged prospects and decide to target them via email to bring down customer acquisition costs, especially versus the high advertising and media costs that there are. So, email can be a great way to not only give a powerful, real-time, personalized one-to-one experience that drives the highest ROI of any marketing channel, it reduces your cost per acquisition. Delivering the perfect post-purchase message depending on their buying history and likelihood to purchase again is another way to use analytical models like the two you can see here: RFM, recency frequency monetary modeling, customer lifetime value modeling. If you have those at your disposal from your personalization and email marketing provider, then it's a really powerful way to eke out long-term considered purchase conversions for the whole of your life cycle. So powerful stuff. So just to wrap up, your advanced email psychology checklist to go along with the basic one we went through earlier. So personalization tactics that automatically influence persuasion using emotion to drive conversion is absolutely essential in these modern times to seek out that personal communication and make your consumers listen in all that noise that's going on. So use recommendations to show your authority and be consistent in one-to-one personalization. Use social proof to convert quicker through scarcity and urgency, emotive feelings of persuasion. Use trending and social product feeds to drive purchase consensus and affirmation amongst your followers and advocates. And react to behavior and target proactively by your natural buying personas to seek the best results. That's it from me today. Thank you very much for listening. It's a lot to cover, but hopefully looking at essential email content, best practice, consumer buying personas, and the principles of persuasion, and then personalization tactics to maximize those persuasion principles on those consumers within emails is a powerful proposition. Great, thanks very much.
Thank you, Russell. That was a great talk and lots of great recommendation and tips for our merchants to take away and implement. We do have 2 questions, but we're quite short on time. So Luke had asked,
okay, sure.
Do you think people in different emotional states when they engage with an email on a mobile devices versus a desktop computer?
So absolutely. Not only is the content squeezed into a smaller frame of reference, but also the urgency and demand on the content to be that much more efficient increases exponentially because of that. So it's even more important to perhaps rely on both stripping out the content to make it even more simplified, and relying on imagery and colors as much as text is even more crucial on a tiny device. Using the right color and one strong image will create that emotional response a lot more than text. So on a small device with small real estate, it's absolutely important to use imagery to the fullest extent. And then urgency, scarcity, personalization tactics would help quickly convert them to not only make sure you get a conversion, but to give them a better experience, to stop them from waiting in that buying process and just make a decision. Using those tactics helps to speed up the life cycle, which is both good for you, the retailer, and also good for the customer experience.
Thank you all for listening in. These talks will be shared.